So this is a project that we have been working on behind the scenes for over a year now, and it's been really hard to keep it secret because I've been really excited about it. I'm even more excited about how it turned out, and I can't wait to show you the footage over the course of a year plus and how we built this simultaneously to the 500-gallon plywood aquarium that I was trying not to reveal too much throughout the videos, but if you had a keen eye, you might have seen some of it from the side. But we're gonna go ahead and flash back about a year to start this video. So this is the current state of the basement and the layout that I have down here. When you first walk down the stairs, I have a desk here that I do some work and editing at, but I do need to clear off some of this with upcoming projects. And then as you come into the basement, next to the 180, I have a TV, couch, just a nice little den here where I watch TV and also watch my tanks. Next to the 180, I have the 150. Next to the 150, I have the 135. And one of the most recent tanks is my 90-gallon discus tank. As we come next to the 90-gallon discus tank, you can see there's a pillar here, which I've really just used for storage for some other aquarium supplies that I'll definitely want to clean up. But this spot in the floor where the carpet's missing, this was actually a doorway that led to nowhere, so the construction in here was very weird. Like I said, seemed like the previous owners wanted to make this into a bedroom, just really weird construction that they never finished. So I removed the doorway and now I have this nice open space. This is an unfinished wall, so any work I want to do here, I'll probably paint this wood white. I'll put some type of background here. There is a fuse box, and I did clean up some of this area in a previous video. And then this whole space here is where I want to do something special. And if you couldn't already tell from the title or the thumbnail, we are going to make this whole space into a really cool bar area, building a DIY bar, adding a new aquarium, and just making this an awesome place to hang out, watch my fish, and also have a beverage. So it's going to be really cool. Can't wait to get to it. Okay guys, so the first step is clean out everything behind me and get the space ready for the new tank. Okay, so we got this area clean, prepped, and ready for the new tank build to start. I cleaned out the aquarium equipment and the shelving unit. I put it in my fish room. Now we have all this space to work with. Can't wait to start. Next up, we have to go pick up the lumber and the plywood from Home Depot. Let's go. So with the space being cleared out and starting to look much better aesthetically, and the plywood aquarium being pretty far along, it was now time to get my brothers Alec and Quinn to help me with the construction of the bar. And so this meant more trips to Lowe's and Home Depot. I feel like I stopped at these stores so much last year and spent so much money on the plywood tank and the bar, but this time Alec and Quinn were with me, and we ended up spending about $225 on the wood for the base of the bar, and we'll tally up the full expense later on the video for the completion of this project. So you've probably seen the videos of the plywood aquarium build. This is currently in the middle of the room. It's doing a leak test. It's been almost full of water for about a week, but we are doing a lot of aesthetic changes to the room, and we're gonna drain the tank and move it to its final spot. But the bar is gonna be going right here. And we also have some aesthetic changes that we're trying to make to just kind of fix some of the weird construction that is down here in this nook of the basement. Quinn is currently measuring for what we are going to do to cover this spot here so the drop ceiling isn't so noticeable. And we also have this very strange construction with the pole covered up by some shelving, and I've been using it for like fish food and things like that, but with the L-shaped bar now coming here, we are going to utilize the space underneath the bar for some storage, above the bar maybe for some glassware and other items. So this is going to come into play. And you have also seen me add this chessboard. I really like it from just a overall look of the basement, but it could also be fun to play some chess, whip up on Quinn.
You're right.
And then once this is in its final spot, we're gonna have room and some area here to do stuff behind the bar, maybe a dartboard, a TV, things like that. But the main focal point will be the aquariums.
It's our longest cut, like 78. First cut done.
Got Alec working really hard on all the measurements of the 2x4s, cutting all of them to length that we need. And as you can see, my garage is an absolute disaster after building the plywood aquarium, a custom aquariums delivery. I need to clean it out.
Great working conditions. Thanks, Brian.
Like every time we're doing a project or a new tank, it's always a cold day in March.
It's a lot of fun. So we're continuing to build the frames. We already got the 2 frames of the longer end done. Troy's finishing up right now the first of the 2 of the shorter end. And then we'll get the legs on there and get this thing looking like a bar. Troy's finishing the last screw on the last leg of this side of the bar. The rest coming right here.
You got it.
Pretty simple though. Now we're just gonna have to move the frame on and then we'll have the top.
And you may notice that this looks a little bit like our aquarium stands that we've done. We are aquarium guys, so that's what we're doing.
Just a little less stress when there's not a big aquarium going on top.
Well, there's not 1,000 or so pounds going on top. But we'll still make it sturdy. Like a glove. Alright guys, welcome to Cichlid Bros Bar and Lounge. We have the outsides all complete, the box frames, a bunch of screws all the way through this, and we're going to get to work on the shiplap to make this look really good on the outside. And then we'll talk about what we're going to do on the top here later in the video.
Alright, so we're trying a method with the shiplap on the sides where we are putting adhesive mounting tape, very extra heavy duty, as well as wood glue, and we're going to try to get away with not having to nail it in, which of course we can always nail it in later if we have to. So now it's time to, we got the adhesive on, now it's time to add the wood glue.
I'm a twins roll right now, doing nothing.
Wrong.
Okay guys, we are back. This is day 2 of the build. It is just me and Alec today. Of course, Quinn is not helping. But we are going to go ahead and show the updates on the bar. Let's check it out. So here we have the short side of the L with all the shiplap connected. We are getting started on the other side, and I'll be adding some other supports to the inside as well to make it extra sturdy. So coming along nicely. So as I went to work on the shiplap and wrapping the long side of the bar, Alec went ahead and did the first coat of paint to the plywood aquarium, which was really coming along nicely. And this bar was really starting to take shape and fulfill that vision I had all those years ago with a perfect L-shaped bar utilizing the pillar with a really good cutout around the bar top with the big plywood aquarium and the discus tank right here in the room. So it is the next day. Alec had to go home, but I did finish up some things today. Let's check it out. So first off, some of the shiplap was a little bit bowed when we were putting it on, so I added much more support with a lot of nails throughout the whole perimeter. This is the side, and then if you come along here next to the discus tank, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
It's looking great, and we basically have everything ready to go. It's super sturdy, really doesn't move, and it's right here next to the plywood tank, and I'm not sure when the update of this tank is going to be happening. I think this video will come out after this is fully set up, but you'll see kind of a difference in the timing of those videos if you're watching this now. The plywood tank will be drained completely and pushed into its corner, and then we'll have the discus tank here, and then we'll have this really nice area here with some bar stools where you can just turn around, watch the discus tank, or you'll see this tank, which obviously once it's back there will be a little bit further away from the bar, so it should be perfect distance. And maybe the most important part of this entire build was the bar top itself, and this was also the biggest expense because we did not want to skimp on this. We wanted a really nice bar top, so we actually enlisted the help of Sean again, who you have probably seen on the channel help us build some custom furniture for Cichlid Bros. He's an awesome woodworker, and I'll leave links to his Facebook down below. Also an awesome guy, and he coaches with Quinn, but he helped us build this black walnut live edge L-shaped bar top that's also cut out perfectly to fit around the pillar. And this could not have looked or fit any better than it did, and I was just so thrilled that not only did I give the measurements to him correctly, but also that he did it so precisely, it fit perfectly in this nook of my basement. And with the bar top screwed down and in place, I did have an electrician come out and install 3 new outlets, 1 behind the plywood aquarium and 2 underneath the bar, which are really going to come in handy later on. So next up, I am installing this new mini fridge, which will go under the bar. I used a piece of plywood from the plywood tank build, so that was a scrap piece I was able to reuse for the bar, and I'm just going to put that right there on the panel. And I like this mini fridge specifically because it has that freezer at the top, which will be perfect for my frozen foods down here in the basement. And at this point, around the end of the summer, it was time to aquascape, fill up, and get this plywood aquarium running. And then about a month later, I transferred all of my big cichlids over to this tank, and they just looked incredible in here. This really got me excited to complete the rest of the bar. These are just a few pieces of art that I saw at Aquashell of Dallas, and I really like them, and I think it really ties the room and the bar together.
That rug really tied the room together, did it not?
So with the bar built and in place, it is time to work on some of the accessories and stuff around it, including this open pillar that I've just been using for some storage for fish stuff. I'm going to change this up and make it look good. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we're also setting up a brand new aquarium. I got some nice Cichlid Bros coasters, but I also got some from the Aquarium of the Pacific, which was about a year and a half ago when we stopped by and did a full tour of that facility. It was an awesome place, but you can see just by buying these coasters all that time ago, I had this bar in mind over a year and a half ago. And I also like the coaster that the Stingray, because my new Stingray will be going in this 500-gallon plywood aquarium very soon. And for this bar and lounge area, I feel like I have to start with the aquariums. I've really enjoyed the 90-gallon tank right here with the discus and angelfish and a really nice planted tank. And then I have my 500-gallon plywood aquarium that could not be going better. All of these cichlids have grown and they look really nice back here by the bar. And then the new aquarium setup, I believe this is a 4-gallon shrimp tank, and it's really cool. It actually spins, so you can see it from all different angles here on the bar. It also doesn't take up too much room on the bar itself, so it's a really nice addition to kind of bring that theme together of the aquarium bar and lounge. We actually considered building an aquarium into the bar itself, but we found that not to be too practical, and this is really something that I built to enjoy rather than hoping to get millions of views on some type of clickbait. And I think it turned out perfectly for what I wanted in my home. But next, let's talk about some of the details of this beautiful bar. So first off, this is an L-shaped bar that fits perfectly into this little nook, into the pillar itself, and covers up some of that weird construction that was down here in my basement, including the piece on the carpet that was missing. So this really brings everything together and makes it look better. We also covered up the drop ceiling hole, which looks so much better. And then we have 3 really nice leather stools around the bar, which I take turns sitting at to get different vantage points of all the aquariums in this room. I also like to bring my laptop here and do some work. It's really nice to kind of decompress after a long day of work, but it is beautiful black walnut wood, and I spent about $600 to $700 on this bar top, and it has an incredible live edge, which really sets it apart, and I couldn't be happier with the overall look. I think every time I walk by the bar, I just rub my hand on the top of the bar. It's just so smooth and nice, and I couldn't be happier with it. And then a few nice touches is obviously the Cichlid Bros bar sign. Really like that. That was actually a Christmas gift from the family. I got some Cichlid Bros glassware for the bar. And anytime I pull a drink out of the fridge, I can just use one of these glasses. It's really nice. And then I hung up these floating shelves, which I'm gonna add some memorabilia over time and maybe even add a couple more shelves. And then on this open space, I plan to frame and hang up my boxing shorts from the Fins and Fury boxing event. So that'll look really nice over there. And then lastly is the corner. So I would say this bar area is about 98% complete. There is one big thing that we're still gonna do, which is build a really nice display case. I'm getting help to build this, and it'll kind of cover up that corner that looks a little messy to hold my generator, display some of my other aquarium content, maybe some equipment, but also to block and hide the fuse box, which will also have a cabinet so I can always access it, but it'll make everything look so much nicer in that corner. And this bar also gives me a great spot to just sit and watch the new plywood aquarium, which I'm really proud of that I was able to build that and see some of my favorite fish right here, the really good vantage point. I've really enjoyed having family and friends come by and use this bar space and also funnel them into this room, which has the 500-gallon plywood aquarium that I'm very proud of. And it's just a really cool space, and it's only gonna get better as I tweak some things and add some things, but I am just so happy that this is finally complete. It was a vision that I had for so long, so it's really nice to see this finally completed. And if you were completely disgusted by my garage earlier in the video, don't worry, it is now cleaned out and renovated. I hope you enjoyed seeing the full process of this build. And if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave those down below. Thanks so much, guys. See you next time.